wife and I bought this farm 5 years ago. We decided we wanted to become self-sustainable, and that was our main goal. And the confusion's immense when you're first starting, because you've got, on one hand, you go to the agricultural shows or you go to the rural stores, and all they want to sell you is artificial fertilisers. They want to sell you chemicals, because that's what they do, that's what they make money from. So you push outside of that little sphere and you go into the natural field, and then there's a few people that cater for that, and they've all got their ideas on what they want to do. And it is very, very confusing. And that was our struggle to start with, is to find something that was going to work, not only instantly, because you want to put something down and you want to see, oh, the grass is green, the grass is lush, the grass, you know, has something that what we've added to it, that it's working. And you don't always see that when you're farming. And we tried many different products. It's like they're following the same business model as Big Ag, that you buy something and you need to continually buy their product or another product to keep the circle going. And it doesn't actually improve anything. It makes it look better. It works for a while. Now, well, we thought we were doing well. You know, we'd look at the pasture and think, oh, this is looking great.
Yeah.
This is really showing promise. And then we got hit with the floods in 22, and we got hit pretty hard. We were lucky in terms of our infrastructure. We didn't lose any infrastructure like buildings or water tanks or anything like that. Our dams went under, but all our pastures that we'd done a lot of work with, they went under, and everything that we'd done just seemed to have washed away. And we were lucky enough to go to a talk in Lismore that was put on by a lady, Zoe, and she's an amazing lady. And she would bring, every month she would bring someone to the area who would talk about different things that they would do. You know, and one of the talks we went to was the one where we met you. And we thought to ourselves, hey, look, we're going to try this product. If it does what it says on the pack, so to speak, you know, it's going to be something that I think we can work with, because we want something that's not only going to look great tomorrow, but it's going to give us a long-term future for our property. We want the property to be a better place when we leave it. So everything that you told us about the soil-borne microbes and what the microbes do, we thought this is really going to work for our place. So we put together the last of our projects after the floods in October of 25. We got our excavator guy. He'd been working for a week or so. He's put in a new dam. He's filled in where the water had rutted out the pastures. And it was just bare earth. And it wasn't topsoil. It was just the bare earth that had come up. And Tracy got out there on the land boss and she sprayed it all with the Earthfood. And we just threw down some pasture seed. It was, you know, uncoated pasture seed, and it was a summer seed. 6 weeks later, we went back over the road and we looked at it and we went, wow. It had had 2 coats of Earthfood, yep. 2 coatings, you know, a fortnight apart, and we just left it. We got a little bit of rain, not a great deal, but it just looked amazing, and we just couldn't believe it. It was up to our knees.
Patty, come on, Pat. Patty!
We've had this in the past where we've, you know, where we've done projects with seeding, and it always looked okay, but nothing looked like what we did with that. And I put it down to, you know, we were using good seed, untreated, but the thing I put it down to is the Earthfood. It just has to be that. It can't be anything else, because everything else we've done, nothing had the growth like that. It would have been 50%, you know, more growth, and it just looked amazing.
As a small business, what we're finding now is that algorithms are not friendly to businesses unless you've got heaps of money to pour through for advertising. But here's the thing, if you like our content and you think that this isn't aligned with where you're at with right now and you want to make a better life for yourself, well then just subscribe to this channel right now and then share it. Make some comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. We really do, because that helps us to make sure that we're giving you the information that you like to know more about. And because we work with scientists, we work with people who are doing the front of the edge information, we want to make sure you get it first, because that's what you're interested in. The other thing is, go to our website, yourearthfood.com, and subscribe, because our emails, we don't drown you in them, but we find that we can actually give you further information that we may not be in trouble if we did it here on the channels. So yourearthfood.com.
Yeah, we've been using Earthfood for 12 months now. And the interesting thing is, we normally, with our steers, we normally, you know, they're processed at 24 months, give or take a month here or there. And the increase in their weight has been, on average, 20%. You know, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less, depending on the actual cattle that they came from, because we have a variety. But, and I put that down to the nutrients they're getting. Our dreams were to start with were to feed ourselves, and now our dreams are, you know, we want to feed our community, but ultimately our goal is to have our farm operating in tune with nature. So the farm, we don't have to, we just monitor the farm. It basically does it, you know, in a lot of ways it does its own thing, because we've set it up to succeed. It's so interesting when people ask you questions. When people find out your farm, the first question they ask you is, what do you farm? 5 years ago, we're going to do beef. We're doing cattle. Today, I farm microbes in the soil.
100%.
A year ago, we used to say, Tracy and I used to say, when people ask us, we say, we're grass farmers. You've just got to go that little bit further. And now, you know, our whole thing is we're looking after the soil so we can grow nutrient-dense pasture.
That's what it delivers.
And now our cattle eat nutrient-dense pasture.
Do your cattle get sick?
Well, all cattle get sick at times, but we don't give them anything other than what we provide within, you know, food from the pastures, and we give them some supplements to help them along, things like apple cider vinegar, you know, and we do full moon worming with copper sulfate in their water. But realistically, you can tell, and probably the way you can tell more so than anything, and it's the hardest day of the year, but whenever you see, you know, the kill day, and you have the cattle that you get the opportunity to see it, you get to see their insides, you get to see their organs, and when they're pristine and they're clean, and you can see the health of them, you see the cattle with their, you know, you see their eyes, you just see their general coat, and that everything like that has improved. It's always been on an upward trajectory since we started farming, but the last 12 months,
Really?
we've just seen, and that's not just the cattle, that's the trees, that's other things that I'm sure you'll know.
Yeah.
You know about, because you see it all the time. But it's the little things like that you see on the farm. Everything's happier. And the other thing is, where are we now? We're June. We were feeding the stock, the herd, the main herd, every day in April last year. We haven't started feeding them yet. You know, they're still grazing pasture. We're at the stage now where we will probably have to feed them for a couple of months. But we fed them for probably 5 to 6 months last year.
Well, that's a big saving for you as well.
Yeah, that for us, and you know, Tracy earlier on, you know, she goes, you know, we need to look for winter feed. Okay, and she was worried that we would be in the same position that we were last year. But the other day, she said to me, we're June, we're not feeding yet. It's working. Look, I can already see that it's been worth every cent that we spent on it. And to be honest, and I'm not blowing wind up you because you're here now. It's like, it's good value for money. We come from a small business background, so we know what it costs to produce products. So some people in the farming industry that have been on the farm all their life, they don't necessarily understand. They know what it costs to raise a steer, but they don't know what it costs to produce a product in the real world. You know, small things, freight, labels, or anything, you know. So we actually see your product as really good value for money. And that's what you want. You want fair. No one wants to be ripped off. No one wants to feel as though they've been ripped off. And I think if you've got your supply chain right and your customers right, you know, it's like a three-way triangle. If every person, you know, the retailer, the wholesaler or the manufacturer and the customer, if everyone's happy, everyone thrives. It's the way the world should be.
100%.
It's like Mother Nature. It's a symbiotic relationship, you know. We work well together, your product, our farm, Mother Nature. Again, it's all in balance. You know, we love what you do. We really do, and we love what we do. We couldn't, you know, we couldn't see ourselves doing anything different, and it's a big change from where I came from.